My name is Natalya Druzhinina and I work for Yekaterinburg company for young spectators. I'd like to say a few words about our city. I think it's really a cultural center of the country, in spite of Moscow and St. Petersburg being the first and the second one. I consider our city to be the third one, and it's it's the best number, I think. As for the main cultural attractions which should be mentioned, I think it's first of all our theater. I'd like to talk about it a little bit later, and Kalida Theater, which is, in my opinion, really site-specific, and its work and is totally connected with our city and its culture and its background. And maybe one of the most interesting and prominent companies of contemporary dance, it's provincial dance, made by Tatyana Baganova. And her company, on the contrary, is not site-specific. They try to be more cosmopolitan, more universal, and try to avoid any kind of Ural roots, and they try not to be Ural-like company. I think that it's better for me to speak about my theater more than the others, but it's really hard to speak about it because Yekaterinburg Theater for Young Spectators is a part of my life for at least 10 years. When I was a student of Moscow Art Academy, I wrote my thesis about this theater, and visited all the productions which made this theater famous. Most of them were produced by Anatoly Praudin, who now works in St. Petersburg and has his own venue. And now we don't have an artistic director, unfortunately, but I hope everything is in the future. So in our theater, I'm in charge of all kinds of special projects, as well as I'm in charge of touring, and I'm an artistic director and executive director of the Real Theater Festival. Our theater is a repertoire theater, and it is supported by a municipal budget, by the local budget. But of course we have to earn some money for a living and to pay salary for our actors. We have different kinds of performances in our repertoire. Most of them are for children, but the motto of the theater is from childhood and forever. So that's why you can easily understand that we have productions for children and for adults as well. We try to be interesting for all kinds and for all kinds of audience. But of course, I would like to draw your attention, but our target audience is children, of course. We have a few shows for the smaller children, for kids from 3 to 5, and it's the most difficult category of spectators, because nobody works with this age. Only puppet theaters work with this age. But we try to begin a serious conversation with children even from this small age. Our target audience is school children from 8 to 12. As for teenagers, I think they are so difficult to work with because, you know, they have so totally different interests. But we try to invite them to the theater doing some kind of projects which can be interesting for them. For example, a kind of theatrical disco, which happens every Christmas and every New Year. We have a number of shows which are really popular among teenagers. We have a really interesting repertoire which is addressed for adults, and we have a project which is called Theater Behind the Concrete Wall. I think it's the most proper translation. Within the framework of this project, we present productions based on contemporary Russian or European drama. All of them are 18 plus. Children are forbidden to go to these productions, and in these productions we deal with some kind of provocative and innovative forms of theater performances. This project is really popular among students and people who are interested in contemporary drama as well. We were the first theater in Yekaterinburg who began doing seminars in contemporary drama. The first one happened in 2001, and from that time almost every year we have some presentations of new texts, of new plays. We do it in a form of work in progress. Directors who are invited by our administration, they rehearse during 3 days and then present the plays for the public. There are two purposes of doing it. The first one is to inform the audience about the new texts that are that have been translated, and the second one is to make a new production for our theater. So as for the projects for the children, now we have one interesting one, I think, and we got an award of the municipal government for it. It is called Theater near the school blackboard. The essence of the project is that we produce short pieces based on the books from the lessons of literature. These are books that children study on the literature lessons. The production shouldn't be longer than 45 minutes. It's a standard length of the lesson at school. And our aim is to make the text of the books, of the classical books, clearer for children, because sometimes, you know, children don't like classical books and they consider them to be boring, and we try to make them interested in some classical plots and events, and make them, maybe if they don't read them, why not just to see and to know the essence of this or that novel.
Natasha, tell me a few words, just a few words about the festival Real Theater.
Yeah. Since 1990 we organize a theater festival which is called Real Theater. The name of the festival is connected with reality. We are going to show the real situation which is happening in the theaters. We don't try to find some stars and really famous names from Moscow and St. Petersburg, but of course we have some special guests from these cities. We try to look for new and interesting performances from the province, from the Russian province, and present them to the audience. This festival is considered to be the third in Russia, after the Golden Mask Festival and the Baltic House in St. Petersburg. Usually we invite some critics from Moscow and from the Golden Mask Festival, and they try to choose the productions for the Golden Mask Festival, so we can say that Real Theater Festival is a kind of a start for the next year's Golden Mask Festival.